Boys and girls there in the firearms world, we got ourselves a Thursday afternoon up here in upstate New Yorkistan and trying to get a few things done. I've made a couple of big boxes. My son did most of the work for me and we painted them, put casters on them. So I can put a lot of my sale items in these boxes. They're 2 feet by 4 feet. That way when I get my van and I want to go to a show, I just wheel these boxes in there with bullets or presses, whatever I have for sale. I've been screwing around. I've got some 4570 bullets here with gas checks on them. I think they're 405 grain round nose. I'll have to weigh them when I'm done. But I had an old tube of Butler Creek lead bullet lube laying around. I found a lot of things when I was digging stuff out. In fact, I found more bullet molds than I knew what I had. So what I did was I took an old spear box and I dropped the bullets in it. And then I nuked in a container that little tube of bullet lube, and then I just poured it in there over the bullets. Now it gets to the bullets all lubed up, and then what you do is you just reach in and you break a bullet out, and pull it out here in a minute. And you can see it's got a little goober of lube on it, and I just take my fingers, give her a quick wipe off the excess. I know, I hear you. You can go. I do have a bullet lube. I do have a sizer. All right, I got a Lee sizer for the 4570, and I've got a Lyman sizing lubricating press. But you know, you just wipe this off, you wipe it on, and I got plenty of lube on there. I got a couple bullets off to the side with no lube on them. I just take the excess off one of those, give it a wipe on there like that. The stuff is really, really pliable, and this is a lot nicer to work with than some of the other lubes. I got to grab another little piece of lube here. I have that Lyman black bullet lube. You know, it's good lube, but man, it is nasty. It's everywhere. I have another box of 4570s. Actually, they're not 45. They're actually they were sized for a 458 Win. They have gas checks on them, and I got those. I picked those up in a bunch of stuff I got off a fellow a few years back. He had a bunch of he had a 458 Win mag, so he was casting all these 458 bullets. That's where these are from. And I figured, you know, if he's running these out of his 458 Win mag, my fingers don't work so well, by the way. I'm going in for surgery on my right hand here next week. Maybe my fingers will work better. I doubt it, but I'm going to try anyway. Pop another bullet up here. And he had this 458 Win mag and all these bullets for it. Unfortunately, me being stupid, I had all these jacketed 458s, 300 grain, 350 grain, 405 grain. I sold a lot of them, which, you know, I guess it was all right because it enabled me to buy other things I needed. And I mean, I had a couple thousand of these bullets. A guy up in Alaska bought most of them. He had a 458 lot. So what I'm doing is I got an H&R 4570. It's one of those 32-inch barreled ones that, what do they call it, Wesson and Harrington or whatever. And I think I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to put a scope on it. And I might use that for my, we're allowed to shoot a rifle now in my area. I don't know, depending on if I can get it to shoot as well as I want. I'm just allowed to go back to my old 54 round ball gun, because I know where that sucker hits. But you can see these bullets, they lubes up pretty nice doing this. It's a little time consuming. I don't think it's any more or less messier. You know, you need a little lube on there. You don't need a whole lot. But you can see they come out. That's a nice looking bullet. That ain't a bad looking bullet. It works fairly well. And what I do is I'll just put this lube, leave this lube in this box, and the next time I do 30 cal or these 458 diameter bullets, all I have to do is throw this box in the microwave, nuke it, get that lube soft, and just set my bullets in it. A lot of my bullets I shoot without gas checks because I'm shooting very light loads. These get the gas check on them. I'm going to load these up. I'll probably run about 25 or 27 grains, 50 accurate 5744. I did load a bunch of 350 grain bullets, jacketed bullets the other night. 350 grain Hornady round nose. I had about 30 of them left. And there's some new but old primed Remington 4570 brass. And I loaded those with, it was 58 grain of IMR 4859. They're going to be smoking. Yeah, that'll be a nice bullet. I'll take them out and sight them in. I really don't care for that peep sight on that H&R. I've had the gun out to shoot it before. I wasn't shooting consistent cartridges though. I had black powder cartridges and cartridges with Pyrodex and cartridges with GoX and 777 and I think even some Unique and 2400. I was messing around. I mean, I did hit the target, but I know from shooting those out of my 4570 trapdoor that I used to have that they would shoot out of that gun. So I even found some clean shot loads downstairs. I had some 65 grain 2F clean shot loads with a 350 grain Carroll hard cast bullet, no gas check, and coming out of that trapdoor, I don't know what the feet per second was, kind of really don't care. All I cared about was that it knocked down rams at 100 yards. Everybody always worries about the group. Well, it's nice to have a nice group, but you know, you can have the greatest group in the world, but if you can't knock that ram down, you don't get that point. And this thing would just flop them right over and roll them right over. I'm trying to get this bullet cleaned up here a little bit. These ought to load really nice, especially in that new Remington brass. I think I picked up 260 pieces of primed Remington brass in the box. You know, the primed brass that they list, not loaded cartridges. Yeah, there was a fellow that had on the internet, and he had one of them Cabela's dry boxes, and he threw them all in there. And, man, I don't think those cost me $150 for all those, which I thought was a pretty good price since I can't even get most people, you know, 260 pieces of 4570 brass. I don't even think I could sell you that. Yeah, and in my looking, I found another like 8 or 9 bags of 3220 brass. I do have a 3220. It's one of them old bolt action Savages. I found bullets for it, and I found an old CNH Sizer press I bought 8 years ago with a bunch of stuff. Thought it was a regular reloading press, but it wasn't. It's the Sizomatic. It had a 429 die in it. I never really messed with it much. I had it set up on the bench one day just to see how it worked. And I was taking round ball, putting 3 round ball in there and crushing them up, making them look like a bullet. I tried shooting them out of my night rifle. They did weird things to the target, especially when the bullet, after the bullet hit and it separated. It looked like a small shotgun blast coming out the back. It's a little time consuming doing these bullets. I got about 1 million other things I could be doing today, but it's a beautiful day outside. Grass has already been mowed this week. I'm not even going to worry about it. I get these bad boys all moved up. Then I'm going to load them, and I'm just going to store them away. Got a lot of components laying around. I'm going to try to get everything loaded up so I'm not moving, you know, a box of powder, a box of bullets, and a box of brass. I get them all loaded up in one thing. I can move them all at once. And they're loaded, and I'm ready for the future. I'm going to get a drink here. So I don't know what the rest of you people are going to do. I know in New York here, they got all this stuff's going to take place on January 2014. All the firearms ban crap. Looks like I'm still stuck up here in New York, unfortunately. Business was good, but my firearms business is way down. I've only sold 1 firearm all year. I haven't transferred any at all. Usually by this time of the year, I've got at least 2 dozen transfers down. And between now, you know, this end of September here, and up to just before Christmas, I'm usually transferring or purchasing firearms for somebody. I mean, guys don't even know what kind of .22 rifle they can buy in this state. A lot of times I can't even find a .22 rifle somebody wants. I know I was looking for one of those 17s. Thought I'd get me a little Marlin 17 just to mess around with. Might be fun to shoot, I don't know. If I could get it, grab me a case of ammo to go with it. Kind of odd, all those years I used to do these outdoor shows, and I'd buy, I'd get like every case of shotgun slug there was, every brand, just the standard slugs. And then I get, that's right at the beginning there where all the slugs with the sabots were coming out. And my biggest seller on them was the light fields. One, because I could sell them for $6 or $7 a box. Now I looked the other day, I can't even buy them for $10 a box. That's for a box of 5, folks. Okay, I'm sorry. I just can't see hunting deer and firing a $2 shot or more, 2, 3. What? Some of those things are $20 for 5. You know, we're talking $3 or $4 a shot. I don't know, man. That's an awful lot of money just to shoot one deer with. You know, just to shoot a deer, especially since people have been killing deer for years. You know, if I was going to go that route, just get yourself a good muzzle loader, which is what a lot of people have done. They picked up muzzle loaders. But the inline type, you know, with the pellets and all the goodies on it. I guess the county board here in Wayne County, New York, they allowed the use of rifles in the area. Kind of thought it was odd. You know, I hadn't heard anything about that in years. I know when I was president of the Sportsman's Federation, I had often said, you know, why don't you open up rifle hunting here, you know, maybe on the other side of the county where it's a little more rural. Not as much over here where I am. I go, you know, I don't really see much difference. You get guys out there, they're shooting hand cannons. You know, I mean, if I could hunt in this area with a, you know, 300 short mag pistol, one of those Savage pistols, then, you know, why can't I hunt in this area with a, you know, high-powered rifle? I don't know what kind of repercussions that's going to bring. I do expect that somebody's going to put a bullet through somebody's house. Of course, then again, over the years, there's been a lot of shotgun slugs run through people's house and property. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I know you got to watch where you shoot around here. You got to be careful. I guess if I use a rifle in this area, I'll be using one of my hand loads, probably a reduced load. You know, I have no need to take a 300-yard shot at a deer around here. Besides, if I took a 300-yard shot at a deer, it would actually mean that I would have to walk out. If he dropped on spot, I'd have to walk out that far and get him. My deer last year, I shot her at about 8 feet. She stayed hunkered down in the brush and the Phragmites and cattails when I walked by. And I come back again and I went to check out a trail that run off to the side where I have a ladder leaning up against a tree. And I just turned around to walk and looked over to my right and saw this brown spot. Hold on, I gotta go. I got somebody to. Hey, all right, I'm back. I was heard a doorbell ring. Didn't know who it was, and it was a UPS guy. I'd ordered some stuff for a customer the other day. He needed a Traditions breech plug and a wrench and a whole bunch of other things. And had another guy who needed some 3220 bullets, some Hornadies. So I ordered 5 boxes of 85 grain XTPs and 100 grain XTPs. He only wanted a box of each. I'll throw the rest on the internet. It does me no good to order, you know, 1 or 2 boxes. I mean, if I was ordering 20 boxes at 1 or 2 boxes or something, that'd be all right. And I ordered another Lee hand press with a breech lock. I'll throw that up on the internet and sell that. I finally broke mine out the other day, and I used it to reload those 4570s I was talking about earlier. And it did work. It worked fairly well. It was a little awkward, you know, due to the fact I got some arthritis in my hands, but I just wanted to see it work, just, you know, for when I'm sitting around, I want to screw around. And I don't feel like messing with one of the big presses. I did like the breech lock thing. Once I got it set up and figured out, that did work really nice. So I got that stuff in. I'll have to contact these guys and tell them the supplies and parts are in. I don't know why the box was marked ORMD small arms cartridges. I'm going to have to contact my wholesaler and tell them you get somebody's mislabeling your boxes, you know, especially if I got to pay extra. You know, if it's marked ORMD, I didn't have any cartridges come in it, but whoever it is, they don't know the difference between the bullet and the cartridge. So I have to tell them that. Either that or they're just throwing a label on everything that goes out, you know, to make sure that nobody does anything stupid, you know. God forbid a poor stock guy loading something up for stock forgets to mark that there's a couple boxes of cartridges in one of those shipments. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. I got about 20 more of these bullets to do. And maybe I'll go get some brass and drop some powder in them. Of course, you know, I finally get an electronic scale. When I go to use it, friggin' battery's dead in it. Par for the course, I could have plugged it in, but, you know, me being lazy, I didn't. So I dropped a new battery in it, and every time you get to use it, you got to calibrate it. That's why I've always liked my balance beam presses. The only reason I got this electronic press is because I bought a bunch of stuff off a guy about a year ago, and it had one in it, and I kept it. Because I wouldn't have spent $100 for one on my own. I'm just too cheap. That's why I reload. And besides that, I got 3 or 4 of the beam presses, and I like them really well. And they work nice, and I've got powder dippers, and which is what I use a lot of the time, and then I've got the Lyman. You know, my Lyman drop powder measure. It works really nice once I get it set up. I use that when I start doing a lot of hot 6 or 30 cases. You know, if I'm going to knock off 400 or 500, I'll load all those up like that. But that's usually how she goes, you know. I'm just trying to get a few things done, and like I said, once I get it done and I get all this out here, I might go back out in the garage and continue sorting and counting and doing stock inventory before the end of the year. Probably not going to buy a whole lot more stuff to sell unless somebody wants something. Of course, you got this Navy Yard shooting thing here now. That guy was taking who knows what kind of drugs, and he carved a little L or some shit on the side of his gun. I'm talking you know, it's like they turn a switch on. Honest to God, it's like somebody sits up there and they just say, let's release this nut, you know. And of course he's dead. We're not really gonna know why he went nuts and started shooting people. I mean, he'd only been working there a short period of time. He did go through all the background checks, though. There was no doubt about that. So you never know. And I think we're going to see this happen more and more. You're going to see people passing the background checks, and we're going to see them. They're going to pop up. You know, they're going to be way off the radar. And these people are going to pop up, and I believe that's the way that happens. You don't know. Just like overseas, you don't know who's going to walk into that market with a bomb strapped on. You don't know. You don't know. And I don't think we ever will know. You can catch some people, but most of the people that are announcing what they're going to do, and a lot of these people that are threatening people, they're going to threaten people anyway. You know, there's a difference. There's people that are always threatening people, and they never do anything. And then there's the people that threaten people. Hey, you might want to listen to them, you know. They'll probably be a little bit off the edge, but I don't think they'll ever know. I think they just try to lessen the incidents. And the guy used a shotgun, shot a couple people, and then took a handgun off the security guard. You know, he had the ID card and stuff to get in. You never know when everybody's going to go nuts. I do feel sorry for all the families and people that were shot. I mean, it's a terrible thing, but, you know, they started telling you can't have a gun. I know there's people that stay out there, well, if you had a gun, you could shoot this or do that or do that. You know, I'd rather have somebody have a gun in one of them places and be able to open up with it, or at least get shot and fall over and let me get to it, or let me have my own, than just sit there and get shot. You know, you can lock all the doors you want, you can have all the security you want, but sooner or later, the nutcase is going to get you, like an old Philly cop told me. He goes, if somebody's going to get you, they're going to get you. Hey, this is Black Powder Bill from www.blackpowderbellout. I was just putting a little lube on some 458 bullets here for my 4570. And Alex Jones playing in the background. He's on a roll today. At least he's not ranting and raving. I'd have to turn it off then. Got a beautiful day outside. I got half a dozen things going on, and Figured it had some time and it was quiet, and I just throw some BS out and bounce it off the wall and see if it sticks. Hey, this is black powder bill out. Y'all be good now.